This is number 2 video of the Swissindo topic. Today is the 30th of August 2023, and I'm going to go through this website called claimuk.webs.com, which is going to be shut down by tomorrow. So if there are any documents you want from this website, you have got time to download this. So we start with explaining what is the UNOSIM system plan. So originally it was called the United Nations Organization, UNO, and then they changed it to United Nations, which meant that there were different nations coming together. And that arrangement was a 70-year arrangement from the 17th of August 1945 to the 17th of August 2015. So because the G8 2013 defaulted on the announcements and the distribution of payments 1 to 11, that 70-year offer renewed automatically, because the crime of denying humanity its prosperity and peace meant that the offer still stands from the last 70-year offer contract to the next 70-year contract. So the denial automatically renewed the contract, the offer. So again, this is the 23-page breakdown of the $1 quintillion, which was in preparation for June 2013. This is April 2013. And it had the payments 1 to 11, $1 quintillion, and the ASBLP, which appears on the 14th of June document, 2010. And in number 1, 1 of 10, you'll see that. I believe the master bond has that, as well as the handover to M1 in New York, which has been signed by the 12 signatures. It's called the 12 portal document. So we went through this. What this 70 billion kilograms is precious metals, and this is the actual gold, is about 7 billion kilograms of gold. And then, so we did mention King Sukarno was the president of the United Nations Organization, and His Majesty Sugihartono Tonogoro is the son of Sukarno, so that he is still the president of the United Nations organizations. Now we have organizations because there were many, many organizations that have kept Swissindo going. And so we are calling it has been called the One Person Public Trust. It's been called the One People Public Trust. It has been called S2 and various cryptocurrency names. But there's a big but, is that you can manage $1 quintillion using cryptocurrency, which is backed by gold, so that there is no inflation or deflation, or there's no interest charged on loans. It's all prosperity, and it's all linked to your birth. so that there is never any need to take out loans. So these, for example, these are the countries. Here, I think there's about 181 countries. You'll see that now it's 357 countries. But that doesn't matter. The population is still 7.6 billion. So they keep dividing the countries just because they're easily manageable if there are smaller countries. So if I just skip through these very quickly, as you will see, the population is there. The $6 million per head is in the calculations. And obviously the last country is the Vatican. And that's just a small country with 1,000 lives. And 6 billion is the total they get. And then just the various banks. We have the Commerce Bank, head office in Indonesia. And we have a German bank, Germany Commerce Bank. And then this is Mr. Sino's other name is M1 Sugi Hartono, Tonogoro. And these are the 3 agents who attended the G8 2013. You'll see their signatures here. Michael Valette, Elaine Atlani, and Jose Alfredo Ramirez. So they were the representatives who were there, and they gave evidence that the bankers defaulted, or they blackmailed the leaders, and the leaders defaulted on the prosperity. So this is the same document which we saw in number 1. Again, this is the offer to world leaders, but now because we've gone past 2015 and this has renewed, so this is again, the offer stands today. The leaders have to accept this country quota. There's the 357 countries back then. This is the 5 continents: Australia, America, Europe, Africa, Asia. And this is the country quota that they get, $138.99 trillion. And there is 70 billion kilograms of platinum, which we call precious metals. There's the Union Bank of Switzerland, who's a guarantor of all these funds. The Committee of 300 were the signatories on the 2007 Treasury Statement, which we will look at. So it says, I authorize my country and my central bank, undersigned by the 25 parent countries. And we'll look at the 25 parent countries. Keynes Law Authority. And this is for monetary reform, monetary system. And here we have the security. So Exhibit A, B, and bank protection and security transfer of CTU 24. That's the counterterrorism unit. 24 means 2024, which is next year. This is valid until next year. This is the military order and the executive order being executed by the counterterrorism unit. That's the US Marshal the global collateral of multiple currency in action by order of the founding fathers, national and international law, owner states, M1 Inheritance Certificate Code, Series 1 to 4. So this is the UBS number 2015. And here it is, IRS. So this money transferred from UBS to IRS. And these are the articles which we did cover in number 1 of 10. I'm going to do 10 of these in one day. So we have gone through this before, and the leaders will still need to fill this out. There is the ASBLP. This is the United Nations organization. Okay. This is the message from M1. He gave the leaders 14 days to complete this, but none of them did. I wonder why. I wonder if it's the same bankers that blackmailed the leaders, that blackmailed the G8 leaders, blackmailed all the leaders, terrified them for their life. So this is important bit. Again, counter-terrorism unit, here it is, 24. So the military will take control of this. Otherwise it won't happen. So coming back to number 3 now, the debt burden liberation certificate, which we went through yesterday. We'll go through again today. Briefly. The master bond, very briefly, which we went through yesterday. So this is the report statement by Police Crime Commissioner Anthony Stansfeld, which we mentioned in number 1. And this is to do with the, as we mentioned, 1 billion laundered by HBOS, which is Halifax Bank of Scotland. And they went to prison for nearly 50 years, 6 or 7 bankers. And this fraud was investigated for 10 years between 2007 to 2017 at a cost of £7 million spent by Crime Commissioner Anthony Stansfeld at Thames Valley Police. And what was hidden was the fact that other banks in the UK were also doing the same: fraudulent trading, money laundering, human trafficking, debt slavery system. This is just scratching the surface of banking frauds, by the way, because there was a lot more of money laundering in secretly securitizing our birth trust funds. So this is a minimum amount of investigation. This is what they call off ledger. This is when they've created money from inflation, and they've taken money for loans. That is illegal. It's illegal to take interest on loans when this prosperity system is being denied to the people. So the FCA did an internal report. Okay, this is, I think it's the Sally Masterton report. Yeah, she was the whistleblower who was made redundant. The Turnbull guidance. This is an excellent statement. It's very detailed. It's very, very, very professionally done. And this is the annual estimated amount lost to fraud. It's about 200 billion a year in England. So total money laundered over the last 10 years is 2 trillion. So the Financial Conduct Authority took its fine, 45 million, within 2 weeks. And these all crime agencies, they all failed. A serious organised crime unit, serious fraud unit, US Treasury, action fraud, City of London Police. These should have dealt with it, not Thames Valley Police budget. National Economic Crime Centre. So all of this is still going on. That the prosecution in 2017 with the bankers going to jail for nearly 50 years had no change in the amount of money being laundered by the UK banks. And Anthony says that the government should set up an independent inquiry, but because the money was laundered abroad, it becomes an international case. So it becomes a matter for the International Court of Justice. So this is about the South African Reserve Bank being caught laundering quintillions of dollars of central bank accounts just disappeared. 35 central bank accounts with quintillions dollars disappeared in the South African Reserve Bank. So this bundle, 219-page bundle, is available for you to download from claimuk.webs.com. So this bundle, again, is I won't bore you with it, but for example, there is a witness statement by Adrian Fani Rudolph Fonse, and it's an affidavit actually, and it is looking for these 35 bank accounts that have been missing between the two Treasury statements of 2007 and 2012. So some of these bank accounts disappeared. So these were the amounts that he's looking for that went missing, these African central banks. And these were the Committee of 300 who signed those funds in the 2007 statement. That's page 1. This is 2012 now, ASBLP. But this doesn't give the amounts, don't believe. So I won't bore you with that again. Let's just randomly go down. Okay. So on page 116 of 219, this appears to be a report called the Secret Gold Treaty to do with Barings Bank collapse, Bank of England's whitewash report, and all the background since 1976. This explains a kind of money laundering is a long-standing problem. And it's about the gold, tons of gold, 100 tons of gold, 40,000, 100,000 tons of gold. It's an international problem, money laundering. So I mentioned the international law, which is called the Crime International Cooperation Act, 2003. Now, this is about countries cooperating with each other. The Forgery and Counterfeiting Act of 1981. And this is about mutual assistance in criminal matters. This is a mandate for the International Court of Justice to ensure peace and prosperity under the UNO Charter of 1945 and the UNO Act of 1946. And it is really about dissolving any proceeds of crime, is recovery of money laundered abroad. It is about recovery of assets stolen from one country by another country. It is about dissolving all corporations anywhere in the world who are caught money laundering. It's a massive provision of criminal law, international criminal law, that enables money laundering to stop. And by dissolving all countries, governments, corporations that are trading illegally between countries, laundering funds, such as we've seen in the case with South African Reserve Bank, that central bank accounts went missing. Entire proceeds of balances of those bank accounts were zeroed. And this is a massive provision, international provision, for recovery of laundered assets anywhere in the world. This is what they did use to go to war in the Middle East, pretending they were going to recover these stolen assets, but they actually just didn't destroy civilized countries to steal their lands and steal their central bank funds by mass murder. So there is no shortage of laws, international laws, that can recover all stolen assets. So that's enough for that. I'm just briefly mentioning again the report of June 2013 by the 3 agents of Mr. Swissindo regarding the leaders that defaulted at the June G8 2013 summit in Northern Ireland in Lochern. Obama, Merkel, Cameron, Trudeau defaulted because the Pentagon advised Swissindo for immediate release, but they confirmed that the leaders were blackmailed by the bankers, Carlyle Group, Ronald Reagan, CIA, Carlucci, Strauss-Kahn, Christine Lagarde of the IMF, Sarkozy, etc. These were the bankers that denied us our prosperity. Even though the funds had gone to Commerzbank, she was to authorize President Obama to do the transaction. So these were the 3 agents of M1 who had attended the G8 2013. And this is about the bankers in the UK that were jailed. These were the case reference numbers of 2017 criminal convictions. This is the actual appeal in the Criminal Appeals Court on the 28th of February 2020 in the Royal Courts of Justice. This was an appeal to reduce the sentences, but the Criminal Appeals Court had a mandate to ensure that the bank ceased the crimes of money laundering, human trafficking, debt slavery, and theft of birth trust funds and central accounts funds being laundered from the Bank of England. But they failed. So the fraud agencies and the financial regulators and the solicitors regulators failed humanity. So in summary, the governments will need to ensure that the central banks cooperate with the payments 1 to 11 distribution in the 357 countries. That should be backdated to April 2013 or June 2013, or to 17th of August 2015. And this should happen after announcements are made at the same time in all countries to ensure that everyone has the same buying power anywhere in the world, and there is no exchange of currency because they all have the same value. So the United Nations Organization Swissindo merger, cooperating countries will have citizens with their funds, and then the non-cooperating countries will have citizens who can ask for dual citizenship of countries that are cooperating. And there will be debt settlements immediately. The basic income will start. There will be refunds of interest paid on loans to banks. There will be refunds of the monthly amounts backdated as well. Basic income backdated. So all governments will be bought out by the $1 quintillion. So the total global wealth is 450 trillion. And the 1 quintillion is 2,200 fold increase in the total global wealth. The charities will be bought out. The Charity Commission is worth about 100 billion a year turnover. There will be military funding for security of the financial system. Then International Court of Justice judges will be asked to sign cooperation with the UNO Charter every year. So these are the recent videos by Anthony Stansfield, as I mentioned yesterday, and some discussions about ending banking frauds. And Andy Kasman is the contact for M1 in Indonesia, in Cirebon. Okay, that's this video finished. This website, claimuk.webs.com. And thanks for watching.